Hi, everybody. Laura here. So glad you're joining me. Today, I wanted to share with you some masking techniques that I used on my Mama Elephant projects. I am using this full sticky Post it note. It's fully sticky on the back, and I've been loving using it for masking. So, this is the Sunday Stroll stamp set. This is the project that I already posted a few days ago, and everyone wanted to know, how did you do it? So I'm going to show you my magic. It's really not magic. It's just a lot of fussy cutting and masking. So first, I'm stamping the girl and the cute little baby duck from the Sunday Stroll, and I'm using those Tim Holtz scissors. I kind of sped up the cutting part because you get the idea. I'm cutting it, but those Tim Holtz, those non-sticky scissors, whatever, those work really good using Post-it notes because my regular scissors get all gunked up with the stickiness of the Post-it note. So once we get the cute little girl and the baby duck masked, I'm going to stamp the bigger duck. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to work from the forefront to the back of the card visually, dimensionally, if you get what I'm saying. So you can see that the little duck and the bigger duck are more in the forefront, and then the dog is behind the bigger duck. So that's why I masked off the duck. Everything's going to get masked here because then when we're all done, I'm going to do some ink blending. Okay, so now that we've got our puppy dog masked, we will stamp the kitty cat, and he's going to be behind. So this is so great with masking. You can create this dimension that looks like all these animals are in front and behind of one another. And if you don't want to take the time to do this, you can just use the coordinating dies, and you could do the same thing without all this fussy cutting. But sometimes I like to spice things up. I like to keep it one layer without all the die cuts and just use masking. I just find it really fun. It takes a long time because you got to fussy cut all these images. But you know what I mean? I just like to do it. So we got the small tree here, mask that off, and then we can stamp the larger tree so that it looks like it's behind the smaller tree. And I've been stamping all of these images so far on one little piece of Post-it. Now I'm breaking out a new piece, but I try to use every little ounce of that full sticky Post-it note that I can. It's great. There's other types of, masking. There's Eclipse masking paper, which is another one that I have, and it works great too. But I just really been loving this full sticky Post-it. And now I will stamp the little cloud first because you want it to look like it's in front of the larger cloud. And we're just about done with all of our images. All we have left is this large cloud. And look how fun this cute little scene is. I love this Sunday Stroll stamp set. It's just darling. And this little girl absolutely cracks me up that she's trying to walk all these animals. Can you imagine if this was really real? A little girl trying to walk two ducks, a dog, and a kitten cat. First of all, you cannot walk a cat. Well, I guess I shouldn't say you can't walk a cat. I mean, if a cat decides it wants to take a walk, then maybe you can walk a cat. But one time I tried, one time, it only takes one mistake. I tried to put a leash on a cat, and I never made that mistake again. But now we do have a kitten, Bella, and she will follow us around the neighborhood, not on a leash or anything, just because it's her decision she wants to follow us around. But if we tried to put a leash on her, oh, she'd just lay there like a dead body. So now I am taking that. I'd used the Landscape Trio die. I die cut some scrap pattern paper. I drew my little horizon line with my Copic multiliner pen. And then I'm going in with some fresh mint ink, using my ink blenders and blending in a soft, subtle blue sky, just very soft and subtle. You can see here that I didn't take my line all the way to the edge, although you could take it to the edge. I just didn't want to. I kind of wanted to leave everything a little bit more in the center of the card and have it fade out into nothingness. That's what I was going for. Okay, so now I'm blending in some grass using Mojito ink. These are Mama Elephant pigment inks. They blend like butter. I've said it before. Now, here's the fun part. You get to remove all the masks. I'm using these tweezers, which are just, I don't know how I ever lived without these tweezers. They're almost up there with my Teflon bone folder. Now, when I can't find my Teflon bone folder, I have a major panic attack, and I'm beginning to feel the same way about my tweezers. When I can't find them, I feel lost. That's how important they are to me. Okay, so once we get all these masks removed, I'm gonna cut one more thing. I'm using this 2 1/4 inch. This is one of these nesting circle dies. I have a package of them, and this is a 2 1/4 inch sized circle, and I die cut another piece of scrap pattern paper. I'm using it as a guide to draw the leashes. So from the girl's hand to the little collar on the animals. Now, I tried to do this before when I was practicing my card, and I just tried to freehand. I thought I can freehand these leashes. Well, it just didn't look good to me at all. It didn't look nice and clean and crisp. So I thought I need something with a little bit of an angle because you didn't want the leashes to be so tight that it looked like she's choking the animals. So the circle die cut is a perfect solution. It gives you just the right amount of kind of droopy leash action that you want, and it makes each one of the leashes just the perfect consistency. And I love it. So I'm stamping the sentiment from Sunday Sentiments, also a new stamp set. I colored all the images with Copics. I didn't show that because the video would drag on for hours, but you get the idea. We're moving on to the next one layer wonder. Both of these cards are one layer, and it's just magical. So we're using Sunday Sentiments, as well as that little girl is from In My Heart. But first, we're going to stamp that Hello Friend. There's about 4 in this Sunday Sentiments of these long line sentiments. They can go, horizontally or vertically. They're long enough to go either way, which is just fabulous. And when I saw this, I thought, how cool would this be to stamp it and mask the bottom off completely? So again, I'm doing the same thing. I stamp it on the card, then I stamp it off on my full sticky Post-it, and then you guessed it, we're getting our fussy cut on. And I'm using these Tim Holtz scissors again, which are just fabulous. They don't get sticky with this stickiness of the Post-it. And I think one thing, if I could give you a tip with all this cutting and fussy cutting, is to let your left hand, if you're right-handed, if you're cutting with your right hands, let your left hand do a lot of the work, moving the paper. So your right hand with the scissors doesn't really have to move that much. Your left hand does a lot of the movement. Does that make sense? So now that we've got that all trimmed out, I'm going to align it and just adhere it all down underneath. And then I'll take the rest of that scrap Post-it and adhere that down as well. So the whole bottom part is masked off. And then we'll go ahead and stamp this little girl from In My Heart. This is an older stamp set, but I thought she was so cute with her arms because she's kind of popping out. And so her arms are like, hello. I thought it was kind of cute. I always got a story in my head about what these little images are thinking or saying or singing. So I stamped her, fussy cut her out on Post-it as well. And then we're taking Ocean pigment ink and we'll begin blending that. I'm combining Ocean and Lemongrass. These two pigment inks together are just fabulous. They look great. I love the combination of that blue and the green. You get this kind of teal action going, then it fades up into like an ombre lemongrass. So just a little subtle shading. We take my handy dandy tweezers and we'll remove this all. And there's not much more left to do. I'm going to color that little girl in with some Copics quickly. I won't show that, but you get the idea. And then I'll stamp another sentiment below from Sunday Sentiments. And this card is finito. Another one layer wonder using lots of fun masking techniques. I hope you give some of these a try. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.